I'm Susan Evans. I live in Polson. My ancestors came over on the Mayflower. My great-grandfather came out from Utica, Maine. He was in the 9th legislature. My grandfather was also in the legislature because they believed in protecting our people and doing what's right. And in college, I was a rabid activist, I guess you could say. I was active in the civil rights movement. I was active in getting out of Vietnam. I was active in the women's liberation movement. And then time goes by and you kind of think, we did it all. We don't need to do anything more. It's done, it's fixed. And we've been going backward recently. And I know when the Industrial Revolution first occurred, chimney smiths were very busy because it was just a dirty, dirty place. The pollution was massive. And President Nixon signed into law the Environmental Protection Act. And now we have a legislature that has tried to reverse all the good we've done. They've gone off on their power trips and forgotten totally that they are public servants, that they are elected by us to protect us from corporations, from evildoers of any sort. They are making legislation that stifles us. They are trying to take away our right to litigate against an entity who is violating our civil rights or violating our constitutional rights or violating our rights to a clean environment. We have kids, for heaven's sakes, who are suing the state of Montana because our Constitution guarantees the right to a clean and healthful environment. And in direct response to that, this legislature is trying to gut all of our environmental protections. One of the things they've done is they're trying to make it impossible for government entities to require giving an ecological statement of whatever your project is. They don't require us to measure possible CO2 output. Their justification for that is that the federal government doesn't require checking CO2 levels, and yet at the same time, they're saying, we don't want the federal government telling us what to do. It's a double standard here. They want to completely wipe out any environmental protections they can, all of it in support of corporate polluters. The government in Germany is instituting an entire fleet of electric trucks for long-distance hauling, specifically to reduce their CO2 output. And we are that far behind the rest of the world that we're saying CO2 doesn't matter. And I got really concerned about what's going on and how vicious our legislature has become. And I have to quote somebody in Texas who was talking about their governor and their lieutenant governor and said, they aren't making policy, they're just plain mean. And I feel that way about the last couple legislatures. They're just plain mean, and they're not honoring the wishes of their constituents. And so I became active in the Montana Sierra Club when I found out that they are no longer just an environmental organization. They started out that way. They have branched out now into social justice. That, for example, most of the heavily polluted industrial areas in this country are directly put into neighborhoods where people of color live. They are taking the brunt of all of this pollution. And that's a social justice issue. Then I found out that the Sierra Club is looking at social justice, and they're putting it all together as a package. And I thought, I want to be part of that. You know, the old college rebel is popped right back out again. I'm an old gray-haired lady now. Our pastor quotes very frequently somebody who said that the world will eventually be run by gray-haired ladies. Because gray-haired ladies have learned a lot. We have learned about what's important. We've learned that our children are important, that giving them a clean environment is important. To give them an environment free of violence is important. And so I became a member of the Sierra Club. And now I've been testifying before this legislature on behalf of the Sierra Club. And every time I do, I come away from their hearings and it takes 2 hours for my heart rate to get back to normal because I get so angry and frustrated that they won't listen. One of them actually got up and said, "We make the rules and we can do whatever we want and you can't stop us." And I just want, pardon me, you know, violence free, but I wanted to get smack him in the face. And that's not me. I'm not a violent person, but they make me have violent thoughts when they want to take away my rights in every direction. They want to take my rights as a woman. They want to take away my rights as to a clean environment. They want to take away my rights to litigate against corporations who are violating my life and my environment. And they're making legislation that says you have to pay huge amounts of money in order to sue somebody. You have to prove you can win your case in court before we even get to court. We have individuals who gathered together in the Livingston area, business people, ranchers, farmers, hunters and trappers, a sporting goods store in Gardiner, which is right at the entrance to Yellowstone Park. They all got together to protest a mine that was going to go in behind Chico Hot Springs. The owner of Chico Hot Springs came and testified. Local business owners came and testified. The sporting goods store operator in Gardiner came and testified. And they're all saying that we could not have stopped this mine by ourselves. We needed to have an environmental organization help us. The ACLU has been doing great things. The Montana Environmental Information Center has been producing a lot of really valid information, and the legislators are not listening. And that's really frustrating to know that we have valid objections to profit above people. And it always comes back to that. We have House Bill 971 that is a knee-jerk reaction to the judge's decision to stop the gas plant in Laurel. They were 6 weeks past the transmittal point. The House makes their bills, the Senate makes their bills, and right in the middle, they trade places. 6 weeks after that, they brought up House Bill 971 in a direct response to that judge's decision. They cranked it through with special permission to produce this bill. They cranked it through the committees. They're just wham, bam, bam, trying to slam it through without any real input. Most of the legislation that's come out this session has had little to no public input because they're going too fast. We find out about a bill one morning and it's in committee the next. And you have to sign up at 5 p.m. the night before a meeting to testify. And so they're trying to dodge every single method of protest. And I resent that. I resent them taking away my rights. I resent them taking away my rights to anything. They don't let me legislate. They won't let me sue them. They won't let me protest. They won't listen. So I'm here making my statement because I'm angry. I'm just really angry. And I just keep doing as much as I can. And I just want other people to call their legislators. You can call a central phone number, I think it's 444-4448 or something like that. And just tell them, I'm so-and-so, I live here, I resent this, I don't want my legislator to approve of this. You can leave messages and the legislators listen to those messages. They don't look at their emails because they're overwhelmed. But the staffers will put these messages right in front of them at the middle of the committee. There it is, right in black and white. So I want to encourage other people to step up and pay attention. You can go to the Montana Chapter Sierra Club webpage or Facebook page and find a legislative tracker. You can find out who your legislators are. You can find out what committees are responding to whatever bill is and thing. You can send messages to those committees. You can send messages to the governor. You can stand up and be heard. And that's what I want. I brought my kids up to honor the world. My youngest son is now a deputy sheriff in the Livingston area. And when he sees somebody throw trash out their window, he chases them down and gives them a ticket. And I'm like, yes! That's the kind of kids I want to have follow my footsteps. I'm really impressed with the kids who are here today. I'm impressed with the kids in the that are suing the state of Montana. I'm rejoicing that the youngest people are taking my place and doing the same thing I was doing back when I was 20 years old. And they're standing up for their rights, and that's what I want.
Let's hold their voices up, right?
Yeah, and it is. It's my whole life has been focused around standing up for my rights as a woman, as an individual. And I thank you.